Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Well, welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, the New York Giants. Sorry, my dog here. I think I woke him up. I'm sorry. New York Giants. I found an article, saw an article. Had, hold on, it's a 5 salary cap bargains for the New York Giants this season. And, I kind of, nice article. Goes over 5 players. It's hard to really argue, without question. But I'm going to add to this article here. I got my own guys. I got a couple honorable mentions I want to just maybe throw in there. And then also I got 3 guys that I just want to add to this list here. 3 guys that, what they're doing, what they can do and all. Obviously, one of the guys, is his health is huge, okay? But, the 3 guys I'm going to add, as I said, what they're doing, what they can do, and what they're getting paid, is, they're getting paid pennies on the dollar, pretty much, So I'm going to throw 3 guys myself in, my own guys in there as well. Plus, there's a couple of honorable mentions. I'm going to show you the salary cap, what the Giants salary cap situation looks like, and just go over a couple of honorable mention guys. And but let's this article here is very, very good. It's from Giants Wire. All right, they always do. I love reading their articles every day. I try to catch up on whatever they got to say. So let's take a deep dive, shall we, into this article of Giants Wire. 5 salary cap bargains for the Giants this season. All right, the New York Giants. Got a little article here from Giants Wire. All right. 5 salary cap bargains for the Giants this season. I like it. Really not going to argue. Let's see. We got Joe Schoen had his hands full when he took the New York Giants general manager job earlier this year. He inherited a mess of a roster, top heavy with egregious salaries and laden with underachieving players. Now, he obviously knew what he was doing when he got in there, but he also knew he had 2 top 7 picks in the first round. So he knew that as well, too. And he also knew going forward, that he was going to, not this season so much. It was going to be difficult, but he knew going forward, he's going to have a little bit of money to spend, like starting next season. So he knew that as well, too. All right. In just a few short months, Schoen has brought some semblance of order to the Giants, releasing some overpaid veterans and signing some others to low-end deals. He has straightened out the salary cap hell that Dave Gettleman left him, and the Giants are set up nicely for the future. Here are 5 bargains the Giants could be getting this year salary-wise. If they're putting Evan Neal in here, they need to put, Kayvon in there as well, too. There's, what a tackle gets, right? An edge rusher gets, right? So, but Kayvon's not in there. But, a starting right tackle of, possibly, his caliber, for $4.4 million. It's pretty good. Now, I'm just going to show you, let's say, what is Mr. Thibodeau's getting? 5.7. So, getting a starting edge who might get double-digit sacks for $5.7 million. It's pretty good. Even if he gets 8 sacks, does what Azeez did last year, right? If he gets 8 and he frees things up for Azeez on the other side. Azeez can get his 8 or 9. I mean, between the two of them, you get 16, 17, 18. I mean, obviously, you want more. Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, if you can get 16, 17, 18 between the two of them, and then you spread some out between Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence and some of the other edge rushers and all that. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to have, 45 or 50 sacks. I hope we do. But, I mean, if you can get, like I said, good 16, 17 from your edge rushers, I mean, that's a nice start. All right. But I mean, 5.7 for Kayvon. I mean, hopefully, man, I tell you what, I'd be over the world, man, if he could get double digits. And that's, as I said, that's going to help out Azeez on the other side too. Right? I mean, if Leonard Williams can have a good year, Dexter Lawrence can have a good year. If Kayvon can stay healthy and have a good year, that's going to start freeing up. I mean, the more good guys he got, obviously, without really saying, I mean, it's going to free up other guys. So, but Evan Neal's salary cap, 4.4, right, this year. I mean, as I said, 4.4 for starting right tackle. And he's just a baby. I mean, pencil this guy in, hopefully, for the next 10 years. That'd be awesome. Neal, the number 7 overall selection in this year's NFL draft, is penciled in as the starter at right tackle, hopefully for the next at least 10 years, heading into camp. He very well could be the best player in this year's draft class. That's quite possible. I mean, Glowinski, said if he gets his hands on you, it could be a done deal. So I mean, if he can lock his hands on you, I mean, he's going to have his learning curves. He's going to have this, that, and the other thing. But I'll tell you what, man. If Andrew Thomason comes back from his surgery and his ankle and his feet are doing okay, I mean, I'll tell you what. As I said, the 2 tackles we could have, I mean, be fantastic. 6'7", 350-pound Neal is not only massive, but he's athletic. He could end up being a dominant force on the Giants' offensive line for years to come. At $4.4 million, he's ranked 39th among tackles when it comes to salary. So, he's getting, that's a heck of a bargain. But I mean, could you imagine? I mean, they're probably going to want, between the two of them, if we want to, hopefully we do, keeping Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal going forward. I mean, when it comes to time to paying them, it's obviously this stuff, Shane and everything. They all have to, obviously keep this in mind. But you're probably looking at, 35 million, maybe more. I don't know, between the two of them. But if they're worth it, man, hopefully they pay him. Then Mark Lewinsky, this is another good one. All right, now he's not super spectacular, or anything like that. But for salary cap for $3.3 million, but this year, yeah. For those living in a cave, Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts is the best running back in the NFL these days. One of the reasons for his success last year was the offensive line. Obviously. Glowinski was a key cog on that line, missing just one game last year due to COVID. So he was healthy the whole year. So that's huge. The Giants inked Glowinski to a 3-year deal. He will start next to Neal. All right, baby. In what could be the most underrated right side of any line in the NFL this season. Quite possibly. Absolutely, quite possibly. So, I said he's not. He's above average, and if you get above average starting guard for $3.3 million, one that is available when it's healthy, for 3 points. I know. Let's say I know next year. Obviously, let's see exactly what it's going up to. So we got 2023 next year update. So it's going to go up next year. But let's see where's Mr. Glowinski. Okay, here we go. His cap it next year, 7.75. So it's going up. But this year, that was the one thing. That was what Shane had to do. He had to bring guys in, on the somewhat cheap this year, keep it affordable. But obviously, next year, the salaries are going to go up, but so will the salary cap, and so will the Giants' money situation. Well, be able to afford these guys. So, but I mean, absolutely. I mean, having above average right guard and Evan Neal as the right tackle. I mean, could be really, really special the next next couple of years with these guys there. So. Now, I think we can get out with Glowinski after 2 years. I forgot, but I think we get out after 2 years. Hopefully, that's not the case. Hopefully, if we have him for 3 years, that'd be fantastic. Unless we wind up drafting somebody, or unless, you got Azudu and McKeithen, right? I mean, we got Lemieux, got Azudu. I mean, as I said, McKeithen was a 5th rounder. Lemieux was a 5th rounder too. So, but then you also got to remember is that this is Shane Lemieux's 3rd year. He has no ties whatsoever to Shane and Dable. All right, so, but you probably realize that there's a real good chance that Zudu's going to be in there sooner or later. All right, now, if not this year, a good chance. All right, but so we'll have to keep an eye on Lemieux. Obviously, I'm pulling for Lemieux. I hope he does a good job and hopefully he stays around, but. Unfortunately, when the new GM and everybody comes in, they have no ties to you. All right. Okay, now this one here is a steal here, too. Yeah, it's Mr. Azeez. And he did some bulking up, too. Now, you got an edge rusher who get, 8 sacks for you by $1.5 million. Now, hopefully with his 2nd year, he bulked up. You got Kayvon on the other side. Certainly going to draw some attention. Azeez, with Wink Martindale's defense of attack, pressure, right? And if Azeez can stay healthy, hopefully, he's going to get, his 8 that he had from last year. That would be fantastic. I mean, can he get double digits? I'm pulling for it. I hope so. But regardless, I mean, if you look, 8 sacks last year for $1.5 million. I mean, oh yeah. Ojulari racked Giants rookie record, 8 sacks last year. And with the addition, 1st round pick, Kayvon Thibodeau gives the Giants pass rush a pair of enviable bookends. Yes, the Giants, for the first time in a while, have 2 tackles and 2 edge rushers. Fantastic. The thinking here is that teams will overcompensate trying to shut down Mr. Thibodeau, which will free up the ascending Ojulari to make more plays. This is a player to watch. Yes, you might have, the back in the backfield might go out and, maybe try to maybe run his pass pattern or whatever. It might chip on Kayvon instead of maybe chipping on Azeez, right? Or they might, certain pass protections they have and all, they might want to, putting more emphasis on going after Mr. Thibodeau and leaving Azeez, not all by himself, but maybe in more enviable position and maybe get in there and rush the quarterback and make some sacks. So he's certainly a guy to keep an eye on, and it'd be fantastic if he can get his 8 sacks what he had last year. That'd be fantastic. All right, then we got Aaron Robinson. Now this guy's going to be, you got to keep an eye on. Cap at $1.1 million. Now their reasoning here. This is good reasoning. The Giants traded up in 2021 NFL draft to select Robinson. Now you got to remember, Shane and Dable didn't trade up in the 2021 draft to draft this guy. Okay, so they're already high on him. So the Giants might be high on him. The secondary coach might be high on him, but doesn't necessarily mean that Wink Martindale, Dable, Shane, they're high on him. But if he winds up being the starting cornerback, even if he's not like, an all-pro or nothing, if he's out there and he's your starting cornerback and he's only $1.1 million, that's a hell of a bargain. Right? But now he'll get to start after Big Blue was forced to release James Bradbury. So we'll have to keep an eye on. They certainly might be right. All indications are that Robinson is poised for a stardom at starting corner for $1.1 million. Yeah. I mean, you got cornerbacks out there making $20 million, and this guy's going to make 1.1. Right? Any team would take that. Yes. And then we have their last one is Mr. Bellinger. Okay, the tight end. All right, the Giants haven't officially released the terms of Bellinger's rookie deal, but it's estimated to be around $700K per year. So, estimate 705. I mean, right. That is a huge bargain if you can become the team starting tight end and play all three downs. I mean, well, we were paying Evan Ingram. Wasn't $705,000. I mean, Evan Ingram is more of a mismatch in the passing game. He drops more balls, but he's more of a mismatch than Bellinger will. But Bellinger's got better hands. Bellinger's a better blocker. All right, and Bellinger's a hell of a lot cheaper. Thus far, Bellinger has displayed that he can both block and make plays in the passing game. Let's see how he does when the bullets start to fly at camp later this month. Well, let's see. Today is the 10th. They're supposed to show up on the 19th. So in 9 days, next Tuesday, the bullets are going to start flying, baby. Right? Many who have observed him this spring gave him rave reviews. Fantastic. I'll tell you what, man. If we can find, as I said, our starting tight end in the 4th round, more power. I mean, we can certainly draft another tight end next year. Because the guys that we got on this roster, I mean, a lot of them, I mean, like Myrick, I mean, or we had, Seals Jones. I mean, some of these guys are going to be like here today and gone tomorrow and all. I mean, so it's like, I can certainly see us going after another tight end in the draft. I mean, if we can find, somebody like him in the 3rd or 4th round, 5th round, whatever, next year's draft, or whatever, to pair him up with him, fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, as Dave Gettleman has said, I've heard other people say this too, you can never have, too much good talent at one position. One thing Gettleman does say a lot is you can never have too many edge rushers, and he's true about that. So that's another thing that I wouldn't be a little surprised if the Giants maybe try to get another good edge rusher, like maybe next year's draft. I mean, go a cornerback, but we also have to wind up saying about Daniel Jones, which leads me to my picks. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to just a couple guys here. Andrew Thomas starting left tackle for $8 million. I mean, he's getting better and better and better. As I said, if his cleaning out, I think his ankle and his foot and all the surgery he had, that repairs and makes him better. I mean, for what he can do for $8 million, right? Then we got Blake Martinez. We know what he can do. We know what the defense took a step backwards last year, especially in the run game. We really were hurt last year. I mean, he should be back for the regular season, and to get somebody of his talent for $7.6 million, that's very impressive. Okay. Saquon Barkley, obviously the 5th year, right? 7.2, that's still quite a bit of money. However, we know what talent he has. I mean, and after this year, he's not going to make 7 unless he gets really, hopefully not, really injured badly and he tries to come back and somebody's going to pay him and maybe give him maybe about that much money. But if he can stay healthy and do what he think we know he can do, 7.2 is a hell of a good bargain for him. Sterling Shepard too. All right. These are just some of my honorable mention guys. All right. Shep, tough to say when he's going to be ready. Won't be for the beginning of the season because he got injured toward the end of the season, unfortunately. So, he'll be missing some time here. But we know what he can do, especially him and Daniel Jones. Very good chemistry between the two of them. But, I mean, once he gets back on the field and all and everything, to have him there for $6.3 million, that's a bargain. So, okay. And I said, my last guy I'm just going to throw out here, right, would be these are honorable mentions because these are the guys that are way up there. As far as money. I mean, having somebody at $5.7 million, a good solid edge rusher, right? I mean, he'll be doing some learning without question. But I mean, have a good edge rusher at $5.7 million. I mean, that's priceless. I mean, he's going to free up, or he's going to make it a little bit easier, a little bit better for some of the other guys on the field. As I said, hopefully it might help Azeez Ojulari as well too. But I mean, just to have him at $5.7 million, yeah, that's a good deal. All right, so now I got my three. All right, that I'm going to throw in there. Okay, now the first guy, okay, is what he can do, but he's got to stay healthy. All right, without question. All right, we got Kadarius Toney. All right, $3.1 million. When he played against the Cowboys last year, he had 10 receptions. I think it was 189 yards. I mean, there was some film out there. I mean, guys just trying to cover him. It was just a joke, absolute joke. They couldn't cover him, and some of the guys they couldn't even tackle him. I mean, it had to have like, they all start running to the ball. The Cowboys defenders, but Kadarius is like juking this guy and juking that. So while Kadarius is juking guys, basically just kind of standing in one spot, juking all these guys. The rest of the team gangs up on him and eventually wants to tackle him. But I mean, you see some of the highlights out there. The guys just couldn't even come close to trying to cover him. Then he got kicked out of the game because he threw the punch. Well, the next game he was in was against the Rams. And, because he gets hurt all the time, he only played in the first series. And then I can't remember which one of the 6 injuries it was that he had last year in the Ram game that made him come out of the Ram game. But he played the first series. They couldn't cover him. The Giants got killed against the Rams. Shocking, I know. But in the first series, he had 3 receptions. They just couldn't cover him. The Cowboys couldn't cover him. Just could not cover him. I mean, so what he can do for $3 million is, he's not the fastest, right? But I mean, he's obviously not the best wide receiver. I'm just saying, like, what he can do as far as just getting open and just having guys miss and all and everything. I mean, that's you can teach certain things. A guy can work on with the jugs machine or whatever with their hands, or guys running routes and getting out of their breaks. This stuff you can work on a lot of things, but what he's got, only the good Lord above gave to him. Okay, I mean, some of that stuff you just can't. You can't teach that. You can't practice that. I mean, what he's got is absolutely phenomenal. It's special. All right, and as I said, $3 million. That's a bargain. The only problem is that, the injury bug. We'll have to wait and see if he turns things around a little bit this year. I hope he does, because, I mean, I'm thinking between like him and Waddle out there, boy, and it's Waddle, Kadarius, and Saquon out there at the same time. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Okay, so now we go to my second guy. All right, I'm going to go, and unfortunately, I hope not. I hope it's not his last year, but Julian Love. All right. Now, all right, $2.7 million. Okay. Is he an all-pro? Nope. Hall of Famer? Nope. Right. Is he super good or, this, that? No. But what he can do, the different roles he can play, right? I mean, the different, the different safeties, you can put them up in the box, maybe a little bit. You can put them, you can help out with the corners and all and everything. Very smart, very intelligent, can play multiple positions. He's got experience, got a lot of knowledge, and you're paying him $2.7 million. I mean, that's really, really good. As I said, unfortunately, he has no ties at all to Shane, Dable, Martindale, whatever like that. So we'll have to wait and see going forward, right, if the Giants are going to keep him. They'll have some money, but he's going to want to get paid next year. So unfortunately, we might be seeing the end of Julian Love. But I said, for what he can do, all right, I mean, the flexibility that he has, as far as the different positions he can play, you're paying him $2.7 million. And as I said, it's not like he's a rookie. I mean, he's been, this is 4th year. Got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, right? And 2.7 is fantastic, which leads me to my next guy. I mean, if you're talking putting the two safeties together, right? So you got Xavier McKinney at about 2.3 and Julian Love's 2.7. So between these two guys, you're paying $5 million for your safeties. I mean, and same thing with Xavier McKinney. He's not tied to Shane or Dable. I just tell it's just it's gonna be such a shame seeing some of these guys go. I hope Xavier's not. Right? Xavier's close to becoming like maybe an all-pro. I mean, he had 5 interceptions, I believe it was last year. So, I mean, he's that free safety position is he's looking pretty good. Hopefully, as I said, hopefully we want to keep him. We can sign him. Of course, he's going to want to get paid. But I hope he's one of the guys that we wind up keeping going forward because I can certainly see building a defense, or well, maybe not around him, but having him be one of the pieces of the puzzle to our defense going forward. But I mean, just you got somebody who's kind of on the cusp of possibly becoming maybe an all-pro safety. All right, for $2.2 million. I mean, that's a bargain. So those are my three guys. I mean, I said Kadarius Toney, you can't cover a guy. I mean, he's got to want it in here. He's got if he's got a little nick or a little this or a little, everything ain't going to be perfect. All right, you're going to have to play through some pain. But if we can get him on the field and get him to show what he can do, man, I'll tell you what, that dude is special. He is magic. And I said, and then you got the Julian Love. All right, the experience that he has, the flexibility he has, playing multiple positions, huge for 2.7. And then you got, on the cusp of possibly becoming maybe an all-pro safety, Xavier McKinney in his third season at $2.2 million. That's a bargain anytime. So you see, I like the article. It's good. And I said the one thing, especially what the Giants were looking for this year, especially with no salary cap money, and we got to get rid of players left and right, especially like a James Bradbury, right? Just so we can sign our own draft class. Joe Shane did a very good job. I mean, I said we brought a lot of veterans in, a lot of veterans on very salary cap friendly salary. So, I mean, he did the best he could under the circumstances, under the financial circumstances that we had. And then, of course, there's just some guys, it's every team's got them. I mean, they got those guys that, maybe on their second year in the league, or maybe their third year in the league, and they're on their rookie salary, and they're getting paid a rookie, and just before they're going to step out and get paid the big bucks. You're just trying to, get as much from them as you can before you have to pay them, or in some cases you got to let them go because they want to get paid. I mean, it's a shame that's the way it is, but that's the first. As long as you're not a first rounder, the first 4 years the team controls them. They're very, very affordable, and then when they step out into the world, they want to get paid. You can't keep everybody, I mean, that's just the way it is in the NFL. But the one thing is here, especially with the Giants now, it was a little different when we had Pat Shurmur as the coach and Joe Judge as coach, because we had Dave Gettleman was the same GM. Now we got, everything's got, the coaches new, maybe not all the coaching staff, but the head coach is new. The GM is new, so a lot of these guys, right, who are on the last year of their contract or so, who are going to want to get paid, the Shane and Dable have no ties to them whatsoever. So unfortunately, maybe not everybody. I mean, they picked up Dexter Lawrence's fifth year, thankfully. But, I mean, you're going to see, probably, unfortunately, some guys that maybe we wish might stay on the team may not, because Shane and Dable just, have no ties to them, didn't draft them, may not want them, may not, want them, going forward, trying to build a team with those guys. So, unfortunately, the Giants, maybe this year, I mean, certain guys, Oshane Ximines, his time might be limited. Darius Slayton, his time might be later. Unfortunately, I hope not. You know, one of my guys I just brought up with Julian Love, his time might be living. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, the Giants, you know, this all, you know, after the season's over with, you know, some of these guys that we've been rooting for the past 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years, with the Saquon Barkley, may not be on the Giants anymore. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!